All right, you guys, welcome back to a brand new episode. Today is going to be me and you, okay? And 5 minutes ago, I almost gave up on recording this episode because there was this alarm in my neighborhood that just came out of nowhere and it was going on for a really long time. So I was like, oh my God, it is so noisy. I tried recording, but I can clearly hear it in the background. It's so freaking annoying. But you know what? Then I thought, you know what? It is perfect for this episode because we are talking about buying your first home. So, at this point of time, I am recording this at 11:44 p.m. Did I already say the time? My goodness, it is bedtime for me. I'm tired, but I want to make this happen. I want to make this episode happen. So, today is all about buying our first home. So let's talk about that. Now, before I do, though, I kind of want to put this out there that I am in no way a professional when it comes to stuff like this. This is all based on my personal experience as a homeowner and my personal opinions, okay? And I am recording this in my very first home that I bought. I think now it would be 3 years ago. So I feel like if anything, it has been 3 years, right? So I've got 3 years worth of experience plus that 1 year before and 2 years before that searching for a home. I feel like, I've got some solid advice to share based on my experience. So either way, take it with a pinch of salt, okay? So today I'm going to talk about shit I wish I knew before buying my first home. So if you came here from my Instagram, you might have already seen the carousel post that I made. But again, I was barely scratching the surface with that carousel post because there's only so much text I can put in before you guys lose your attention to the post, right? So that was really just the baseline, the tip of the iceberg. So in this episode, I will try my best to dive into the points I made and answer some of your burning questions. So the first question was, what was my thought process of owning a home and how did that happen from thought to execution? Oh my goodness, you guys are very thorough with your question. I like that. Now, before that, for me to answer this question, I have to kind of go back in time a little bit. So it's a little bit of story time. So for those of you who may not know, I am not a KL native. I am not from KL. I wasn't born here. In fact, I was born in Johor and I was raised in Ipoh. So like I came from a small town, just like many of you did. I grew up in a small town and mine was Ipoh. And when I came to KL, I just wasn't local, you know what I mean? So for a long time, I was just renting from houses to houses, areas to areas, in all of my years living in KL. And I dare say, I think I covered quite a lot of ground. I've stayed in Subang before, I've stayed in Puchong before, I've stayed in all areas before. And so long story short, there was this one time in my years of living in KL, I was forced to be homeless. I've never shared this story in a podcast before, and I will not be doing that today because it's going to take up a lot of time. So I'll leave the story for another day. Just know that at one point of my life, I was forced to not have a roof over my head. I was kind of like living in the car, going from places to places, trying to, get friends to host me, whoever that would be willing to take me in. So in that moment, I remember telling myself, I don't want to live like this ever again. I will be able to afford a home for myself one day so that I don't need to be kicked out of my home or anyone's home and have no roof over my head. So all those years of instability and hardship was my reason for really wanting a home of my own. So that's a very personal motivation. It was not from anyone else. It was not because Felicia has a house and my friend Joey has a house, and it's not any of that. Like a lot of my friends at the time, they all lived in a very stable household. But that didn't really make me feel like, oh, I want to buy a home because they have a home. But for me, it was really from this personal experience. So yeah, and honestly, like these days, especially in the past couple of years with the social media booming, like social media now becomes such a big part of our lives, we really do see a lot of influencers, content creators, celebrities flaunting their home. Like I love watching Architectural Digest. Like AD is like one of my favorite YouTube channels. I love watching home DIYs, remaking homes. Like I'm obsessed. But I don't know. I just never felt the urge to want it just because they have it. But if anything, I just want to like do it, like kind of get inspiration from all these things that I do watch. But again, what I'm trying to say is my motivation to want a home was not sourced from other people. It was sourced from my own hardship and the lack of a stable home that made me want to buy a home. So that was my thought process. Like, okay, I want to buy a home because of this reason. So yeah, I don't know. It sounds so cheesy. I know. If you're cringing, I'm sorry, but that was my reason and my motivation to do it for my younger self. So I did what I was supposed to do, which was I want to buy a home. So like that was the goal, right? In order to achieve that goal is a money. Like there were so many homes out there at the time, like probably cheaper than it is now. But like at the time I had no ka-ching. So obviously I need to work really hard and save, but I can't even invest yet because at the time I don't even have the baseline of my savings to be able to start investing. So I worked really hard. I started saving up. And when I realized I saved up enough, I reached out to a financial advisor and ask if, I'm ready to buy a home. Like, because I felt like I'm so bad at math that I just am not good at all these things. I decided to ask a professional for advice, and we did the math together. She checked my cash flow, checked my savings, and, we did all that was needed. And then long story short, she said, hey, yeah, I think you're ready to buy a house if you're fine. Like you will be spending a lot from this time to that time, that period of time, but I think you'll be fine as long as you continue working the way you do now, and or if you're able to bring in more income, then you'll be totally fine. You will feel the pinch for a little bit, but after that it will be no problem. So that was kind of when I knew, oh, okay, because coming from like nothing, zero, I just don't know when I could actually afford. So like when she gave me the assurance, I said, oh, okay, that's so nice to know that, all these years of working hard really paid off. But of course, like at that time was just a thought. To finally start taking the steps to buy a home was also a long journey. So the first step was like, hey, yeah, I think I'm ready financially to own a home. Like I made sure I was financially ready. I will tell you exactly why this is so important later. But yeah, that was my process. But if anything, that conversation with my financial advisor gave me the confidence to take that first next step. And the rest is history. So if you're not sure if you can comfortably sustain a mortgage for the next many years, then maybe you're just not ready yet, and that's okay. I feel like these days milestones is such, how do I put this? Everyone is so hyper focused on hitting milestones, but the truth is our lives are all so different. Like maybe buying is not for you, and that's okay. Maybe renting just works for your lifestyle. For example, to be honest, last year I had this thought like, oh my God, I'm not even home half of the time. Why, if I didn't buy a home, I don't have to pay for all these extra fee, because last year I traveled like 13 times in the entire year. So pretty much half of the year, I wasn't even home. So it did make me feel like, oh my gosh, like no one's even home. What am I doing? Why did I buy a house so soon? But the truth is, obviously, that was just like an in the moment thought. I did not regret my decision, but there will be thoughts like that along the way. So you gotta really think, what's your lifestyle like? If you're someone who travels pretty much half of the year, like, dude, do you really need to own a home? Because the next year you might not even be working in Malaysia anymore. Then what? And then sell? And what if you cannot buy? I mean, what if you cannot find a buyer? So all these things are very, very important, and you really need to take that into consideration. So say your friend Sammy bought a house because she now has a family and she knows her life for the next 10 to 15 years will be in Malaysia. So it makes sense for her. Look, what I'm trying to say is everyone will have their own reason to buy a home. So try not to compare on surface levels, because that will just kill you. Not literally, but like kill your finances and like make you have a very deep, painful regret, which I will talk about in a bit. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Now, if you've been here for a while, you would know that we've been growing the podcast on our own for a while now. And one way you can really support us is by subscribing to our channel, following us on social media, and interacting with us. Leave a like, comment, react, anything if any of the episodes resonates with you. Even better yet, if you love it, share it so that we can reach more people like you. I know they're just small gestures, but they mean the world to us, and I know they will leave a big impact. Now, if you're like me, you grew up in an Asian household, specifically Malaysian Chinese household, you would have probably heard your parents or family members tell you, hey, make sure you buy a home when you're ready. Very important. Actually, no, they don't even say when you're ready. Make sure you buy a home the moment you start working. And the truth is, buying a home today versus, say, 30 years ago is so different. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think back in the day, I was talking to someone who lives in a mansion, I would say. Not even a mansion, like a bungalow. And apparently, the grandmother bought it for like 300,000 back in the day. Hello? We can't even buy a freaking 500-600 square feet condo in PJ for like 300,000 ringgit. Do you know what I'm saying? Inflation is real. Times are different. So like, our parents' generation, when they were buying properties versus today's generation, really is so different. So we can't just copy and paste their methods of living with the way we are living right now. It is very unfair, and it's just not it. Like, don't do that. Maybe your parents don't know enough. Maybe they don't understand, but you should know better. So like, I would say don't just listen to them blindly. Like, I know they have your best interest. They love you, but you know yourself better. So don't ever be pressured into buying a home just because your mom, your dad, or your auntie, your family member says that you should. You need to first feel like, yeah, I would like a home and I'm ready for it. Like, for sure, you're ready, not just for a home, but for everything else that's going to be coming with it, which I will break down in a bit. Okay, let me tell you a quick story. I had a conversation with someone before that said that they bought a property out of pressure, not because they wanted or they were ready. Sure, they have the cash, the money. Even then, it was because the parents say they should buy. Simon says Simon says they should buy. Rocky says should buy. Must buy. Good value. Good this. Good that. Buy. Buy already. Only after buying they realize, oh my God, I actually don't like this. This is becoming a liability. It is becoming a burden. And then what? Guys, it's not as easy as you think it is to sell a property. A lot of things are considered, like a lot of factors. Is the resale value actually there? Or is that why it's cheap in the first place? Or like no one wants it because it's, I don't know, haunted or whatever. It's just got bad juju. That's why nobody ever got to sell it. But because you bought it at such a cheap price, now you're having trouble selling it for whatever reason. I'm going in circle with the story, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I don't want you guys to get into that kind of situation where you regret a decision that's going to tie you down to a, say, 20, 30, 35, 40-year-old loan, guys. It is, that kind of regret is very heavy. It's very expensive. So what I'm trying to say is please don't take them lightly. Again, this episode is for those of you who are looking to buy a first home or your first property. I'm just here not doing the math with you. Y'all can do your math yourself because I'm not good at math. I'm bad with numbers. But I can tell you the emotional side of things, the consequence side of things, and the rational side of things. Okay, let's do that. And also this whole pressure of you should do it before you're 30. Like, come on. I have so many friends who are above 30 and still don't have a home and they still live a great life. Like having a home, owning a home does not make your life any better. It is just a home at the end of the day. If it doesn't serve its purpose in your lifestyle, it is only going to bring you down. It is only going to be a liability. It is only going to be an extra cost you need to bear. So please remember that, okay? Let's just say you are for sure you want to buy a house. Okay, Maggie, say what you want, whatever you've just said. I know, I am 100% sure I want to buy a house. Great. Let's keep talking. So, first thing I think you should do is to view as many houses as you can. Like seriously, like don't take this lightly. I know, you know how sometimes when you go to the first home, oh my God, it's so nice. They've got a pool, they've got this, they've got that. It feels like I found my dream home. But girl, if that's the first property that you've seen, please hold your horses, take it easy, and keep viewing for more. Now, I say this because, how to say it? I was in that situation once before. That's why I say this. I almost put my money down for a property in an area that I don't actually really like. But because the salesperson was so good at convincing, in the moment, I don't know what it is that they say or do. They're just so good at their job that I got sucked into the dream. And I almost put my money down. Thank God I told them that, okay, I will need to go home and do some math and I'll get back to you tomorrow. Right? And I realized, as soon as I got home, oh my God, what happened? I don't even like that place. But it sounded like a great idea, like to live there, the community that they say that it's going to happen, this and that. They will sell you the dream, but they will not tell you the loan that you're going to be signing, the money you're going to be spending for the next 30 years. They will not even talk about that. They will only talk about the dream, okay? So like, don't be afraid to keep looking. And let's just say that you need really know more because that's what they always tell you. Are you sure you don't want to put your money down because this is the last unit, this is the last two, the corner unit finished already, da-da-da-da-da. Like, girl, you know how like when I talk to you guys about a man, about a relationship, if it's yours, it will be yours. If that man's not yours, he will never be yours, okay? Same with this home. If in the next 24 hours, like you can't even take 24 hours to go home and think about, it's a life-changing decision, you know, it's a big decision. It's not just buying like an iPad. It's not just buying a phone. It is buying a house. So if they don't even let you go home and think about it, which usually they don't, they would just like pressure you to buy it, which is their job, whatever. Like that's a bit of a red flag for me, okay? As a decent human being, I will never force someone to buy something that they are not sure if they want, if it's like that much amount of money. We're talking about millions or hundreds of thousands, right? Like, I don't think I can sleep at night knowing I forced someone to buy something like that. But anyway, I am not a property agent. So what I'm trying to say is like, I'd rather you regret not getting the unit than to regret putting your name down for a 30-year-old loan. That is all I'm going to remind you here. That's the purpose of you listening to this podcast right here. Like, are you sure in the next 24 or 48 hours, you think after doing all the math, this is it for you? If your answer is yes, girl, guy, go for it. I will not stop you. But if you feel pressured, if in any way you feel the slightest pressure that you're unsure, like the back of your head, I'm not sure about this actually, please don't. It's okay. Like the more you view, like the reason why I say view more is because the more you view, the more you know. Like for me in the beginning, I was looking at landed houses as well. But in the end, I realized I'm not really into landed houses because I'll be living on my own at the time, not on my own, but like, like like just 2-person maximum at the time. Like, I don't know if I've got time to like manage the outside door, the outdoor, the painting of my outside house. So I realized, okay, landed house is not for me. Even with condos, there are so many different options, like what size, corner unit, or like this or like that. Like, guys, just keep looking. Look until you feel like, oh yeah, confirm, nah, I don't like this. Like, you're so sure you know your type. You know what you're looking for. Example, I want a landed house that is a corner unit for sure, because I know I want to live there for the next 30 years and I want to be able to have a family there. I do not want to move anymore. Girl, go for it. You do you. Like, you just need to know what you want. I don't want you to be forced to buying a, say, 500 square feet. Like, yes, the price sounds so freaking good. Like, say, for example, 400,000, but it's only 500 square feet. What if in the next 2 years you want to start a family? How is that going to fit your family, right? What if then you want a kid and then 2 dogs? Things change. Life changes. So you got to think about that. Like, I feel like when buying a home, you cannot ever think short term. You have to think long term, which is why I will keep repeating this like a broken record. View as many houses as you possibly can. Okay. I do not want to continue being a broken record, but yeah. Oh yes. Another point is, guys, on top of just viewing more, you have to study the area, not just the property. Like, they could be the best property company or manager, but the surrounding is crap. Like, you can't even walk to the nearest supermarket without feeling like you're going to be harassed. Like, those kind of things are important as well. So what I did was I actually went to the unit and the area at different times of the day, daytime, nighttime, during peak hour. How's the traffic over there? How's the community over there? Like, how's the vibe? If you're living alone, is it dodgy? Like, is there school nearby? Is it, you know how it is when there's school, the traffic is insane, things like that. It's very important. And this is going to be your life for the next many years. So please don't ever take them lightly. Like, all these factors are things people don't usually think about. Like, oh, the property is perfect, but the surrounding crap. So please, I don't know if there's a perfect one for anyone, but I feel like there will be a right one for you. That there will be some, say, red flags. I'll just categorize them as red flag, okay? There will be some red flags that you will be able to accept, but make sure the ones that you can accept are ones that you can live with as well, okay? So yeah, those are some of the things I checked before even deciding if I want the unit or place or not. Another thing is also your neighbor. Oh my God, I cannot imagine living next to a nasty neighbor for, don't even say 10 years, for a week. It is annoying. Imagine that. So guys, these are some of the tips that I hope is helpful. All right, healers, can we talk about bare minimum for a sec? Because in 2025, the bare minimum is wearing sunscreen. Now, if you have been following me, you know I never skip my sunscreen. It's the one habit I'm actually super proud my younger self stuck with, because right now my skin is thanking me for it. So I'm here in Seoul right now, and the one brand that keeps popping every time I need sunscreen is Beauty of Joseon. It's Korean skincare that blends traditional herbal ingredients with modern formulas, and you know what? It works so well on my skin. Now, if you have dry to normal skin like I do, the Relief Sun Rice Plus Probiotics is so moisturizing and comfortable. No white cast, no grease, just glowing, healthy skin. But if you are more of an oily or combination skin girly, try the Aqua Fresh version. Think rice seed water plus B5, super lightweight, cooling, and absorbs like a dream. Now, they both have SPF 50 plus, PA4 plus, so you're getting some serious protection either way, okay? Honestly, guys, Korean skincare is unmatched, and you don't have to hop on a flight to get it anymore, because your girl got you sorted with a code. Use BEAUHOH15 for 15% off with no minimum spend at the Beauty of Joseon official store on Shopee. Again, it's BEAUHOH15 for 15% off with no minimum spend. Terms and conditions apply. Now, let's get back to the episode. This shouldn't come as a shocker, but I don't know, for some of you it might. But mortgage will not be the only thing that you're paying. So as an amateur homeowner back in the day, 3 years ago, how to say this? I'm going to sound silly. Feel free to laugh at me. I'd rather you laugh at me now than someone else laugh at you. All I did was allocated just about enough for a monthly mortgage. And I didn't think about the hidden cost. I only found out about all these extra hidden costs until much later when it's too late to turn back. But thank God I have allocated extra cash for miscellaneous stuff. But still, there's a lot of cash that I didn't think I would completely finish up the miscellaneous bank. The fund. So stuff like stamp duty, stuff like legal fees for your lawyer if you buy a sub-sale. I don't know if you buy a brand new, you need as well. I'm not too sure. There's fire insurance for your property. There's management fee if you live in condo. And if you don't live in a condo, you live in a landed house, there's also like, I don't know, we call this the community fee my mom has to pay back in Johor, where they pay for the security guard that guards your area. Like there is always something to have to pay. Okay, so the list is endless, and here's what I'll say though. It gets overwhelming in the beginning because stuff like legal fees, stamp duty, and all that feels like a lot in accumulation, but it does get better after. So because those are like a one-time fee. So eventually it would just be like your management fee or your community fee, and then your yearly assessment tax, meaning like a property tax and stuff. It's still a lot, definitely way more than when you rent, because when you rent you only pay the rent. All of these mafan things, difficult, annoying, hidden costs will be bared by your landlord. So now that I'm a homeowner, I have a lot more empathy towards like landlords. It really is not easy. I'm not a landlord myself. I don't rent any of my units, but I just, it's not easy, you guys. So another thing is, if your condo decides to collectively increase the management fee, y'all got no choice but to pay, okay? And these days, it's so crazy. It can go up to like 1,000 ringgit a month just for management fees. And like, you must be wondering, what is management fees for? Your security guard, the tennis court in your condo, the swimming pool that they need to maintain, I don't know, the plants surrounding that you probably don't even touch, the painting, then the kakak that cleans your condo every other day or every single day more than you clean your own house. Like, these are the things you're actually paying for. Like, I don't know, when you have visitor coming to your house and your guard needs to call you, that service you are paying for. So like, yeah, you got no choice but to pay. Like, you absolutely cannot not pay, because I have seen the list of what do you call this? Debtors, people who owe the management money because they don't pay management fee. And it's like a full-on public announcement that you haven't paid, it's so embarrassing. Those are the kind of annoying things you need to think about. And also, like, one of the crazy thing that I found out was the price of stamp duty. So when I was renting, I also heard of this stamp duty fee for the agreement or whatever. It was only a couple of hundred when I was renting, and I do it like every 2 years whenever I renew my tenancy agreement. But my stamp duty for the house that I bought, it was a 5-figure amount. Holy freaking shit. Like, huh? I didn't ask how much because I thought I know. But oh my God, you guys, it was a lot of money. I don't remember the exact amount. I'm too lazy to find the figure. But like, it was a 5-figure amount. I remember I was like, what? Where is this going to? Oh, it's stamp duty. You have to pay based on the size of your property or whatever. I'm like, oh my God. So that took up money from my renovation cost because I did not see that coming. So yes, all of these are cash, you guys. You cannot take a loan and tell them, oh, I pay you an installment the next couple of years. No such thing. I'm so sorry. So yeah, you do the math. All right, this next point is so important. And it is, just because you can loan that much doesn't mean that you should. Let that sink in first, okay? So this is something that I personally think is so important, but nobody told me about it. Really, nobody. So this is my personal experience, and now that it has been, say, like I said, 3 years into me owning this home, I want to tell you guys if I regret this decision or not after making that decision 3 years ago. So with house loans, right? I think most people would want to take the maximum amount of loan. Like they will calculate how much they can afford based on if they can get maximum amount of loan. Again, that's just my assumption. I think that's what most people do. Oh my gosh, 500,000 ringgit property. Oh my God, I have 50K. I can afford. But the thing is, it's again, there's a lot of hidden costs, like I just mentioned earlier, right? So for me though, I didn't just pay 10% down payment. I paid a little bit more than 10% because I have already allocated the amount for it, because I just didn't want to owe the money, that much money, because the paying back just scares me a little bit, right? So yes, I was eligible for a 90% loan at the time, but I didn't take it. Look, a lot of people, and when I say a lot of people, it's mostly the bankers or people who are very good with money. I wasn't good in money or calculation in any way. So I just for me, it was very simple. I don't want to take that much because I don't want to owe that much. Simple math, right? Yeah. But to them, they were like, oh, you should have more money in your bank so that you can have those cash, because once you pay down payment, you cannot take the money back. Like, I know, but I've already allocated the money for this at the time. So yeah, but everybody around me was telling me to borrow more. And the thing is, the bank doesn't care about your lifestyle. They only care about the money in your bank and the cash flow if you can afford to pay them back. So if they think based on those, you can loan 90% of the total amount that you need, doesn't mean that you should, because they don't know that I like to travel a lot. They don't know I sometimes like the finer things in life now. They don't know I like to spend on this or spend on that so much. They don't know my lifestyle that much. But if you can afford, say, a 3K repayment every month for the next 30 years, on top of your management fee, on top of utilities, car loan, food, everyday things, right? So if you cannot afford to pay that much, then of course, don't loan that much. It's that simple. But you know what? 3 years later, I just want to say I'm so glad I chose to stick to my plan and not listen to the bankers, although like I should be taking their advice because they are the professional, but I know myself better. I didn't take a higher amount of loan because my repayment would have been way more. Plus, that was during COVID, so obviously interest rate was lower, and then when interest rate increased, my monthly repayment also increased quite significantly. And I just know that, if I were to have to pay the 90% loans repayment, it would have been a lot, and I would have been feeling the pinch a lot every single month now. But because I just know that's what I can afford right now, that's what I did. So again, just because you can loan that much doesn't mean that you should, okay? Yeah, I hope I made my point. All right, this next point is also very important because, again, it will eat into your money. Be anal with your renovation timeline. Be a bitch if you need to, because it's your money at the end of the day. Like, don't be ashamed with your renovation timeline. Don't be ashamed to walk into your own house and tell them, why is this still not done? Why is that this color? Like, just don't be ashamed. It is your home, your money, and your time. So it's been a while since mine happened, but you know what? I really, really enjoyed my renovation process. I just love seeing things come to life. And also shout out to my really good friend who was also designing my home, helping me design my home at the time, Carmen. Like, she was my MVP. Like, she was also, I would say, some designer also double as a project manager. So she was also managing like the contractors and everything. So that really, really helped. But I was also very, very hands-on. Like, I would come to the house and check every other day, which is a little bit of a higher frequency, I guess, compared to many other homeowners. Again, I don't know, but some of my friends say that they would check in every few weeks because usually there's not much progress. But I like to come in every single day if I could. I was obsessed with the process of putting my house together. Like, that was so much joy. Like, that gave me so much joy. I really, really enjoyed it. And yeah, so my point is, it's so important to keep to the timeline, because at some point you're going to have to either, start paying the mortgage of your house. It depends if, you buy a subsale or a brand new. With brand new one, I think they built the condo in phases from what I remember. For example, if you bought the 17th floor and they're still building the third floor, I think they call it progressive interest or something progressive, I don't know, but by the time they reach your floor, you're going to start paying already, is what I remember. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know what the exact term it is, but point is, even before you move in, even before the building is ready, you're going to start paying something already. And for those of you guys who buy a brand new unit, that is a long time of waiting. But for subsale, I would say the moment you get all things sorted, if you want to do renovation, like it or not, you have to pay your mortgage anyway. Like, they don't care, oh, your renovation not done, don't need to pay mortgage. No such thing, okay? So you got to pay a mortgage anyway. So at some point, it will have to kind of double your expenses, because your new home is still being renovated, but your new home is still being renovated. That means you can't move in just yet. That means you still need to stay in your rental home until it is ready. That means you're paying rental and mortgage at the same time. So let's just say minimum amount, we go minimum 2K per month. That's 4K, you guys. That's a lot of money. So ask yourself this. Can I afford to pay both sides for, say, 3 to 4 months if shit hits the fan? If yes, good on you. If you cannot, you're going to have to manage your expectation a little bit, or do very, very minimal renovation, or I don't know, move in while they're still renovating part of the house. I don't know how that's going to work for you, but of course, that's why I say being hands-on is very important. Contractors will be contractors. Mistake can happen. Tiles can be installed wrongly. Piping could go wrong. Leaking can happen. The colors of your wall could be the wrong one, even after you've told them you want yellow. It's not yellow, it's white. Those things can happen. And the thing is, mistake or not, everything will be bared by you, your time and your money. So my advice would be really, really be hands-on with your renovation. Don't fully trust people, I would say, and also really allocate money for delay, because from my experience, I don't think I have heard anyone's renovation be exact on time on the dot. Even if it's not months and months of delay, it is still a couple of weeks, and that could eat up into everything else. You have to clean it after that. You have to apply for moving in, and that's a lot of things you need to do. So I would say, if you're going to buy a new home, these are some of the costs that you need to consider as well, that if you can pay both sides for at least 3 to 4 months. And of course, I hope you don't have to pay that much for that long. Minimum, maximum 2 months to be safe. And if you cannot, absolutely cannot, no way I can pay for that, I would say you might want to think twice about either renovating, maybe keep that for later, but I would still recommend doing all the basic renovations before you move in, especially for piping stuff, electric wiring stuff. All those things are very important. I would recommend you doing it before you move in, because after you move in, doing things like that will be a lot of hassle. And it's very unlikely that you actually do much renovation after you move in. So those are some of the things that you need to consider before owning your first home or buying your first home. What else? I feel like there's so much I can go on and on and on. But I feel like we're coming to the end of the episode. I don't want to drag this on too long. If anything, I would rather do a part 2. But another reminder is, really don't buy a home with your partner. Yeah. I mean, boyfriend, girlfriend. Even if I'm married, I still don't know if I want a joint property, because a lot of my friends who are married, they actually don't have joint property. Smart. Because it is just like, look, love is one thing, but all these legal processes is another. You don't want to end up letting the lawyer win and take your money, and then you guys lose everything, right? So like, I don't know, anything can happen, but I'm so glad I didn't buy my home with my partner at the time, because it would have been very, very messy to get out of it, I feel. And again, speaking from personal experience, I know people in my family who are no longer together, who are divorced, and they are still trying to figure this shit out with their joint property. And I say this because either one party doesn't want to sell, want to rent to earn the rental income, and then the other want to sell. Like, if you cannot come to a mutual agreement, it is really shitloads of work. So unless you're willing to go through that, except unless you're so freaking loaded that you don't care about all these things, you've got lawyers and like family people to deal with it for you, girl, I'm so happy for you. Then go for it, do your thing. But for everyone else, like me, we don't have the luxury in life. So every single money that I spent into this home, building this home, is from my hard-earned money. So I take it very seriously with things like this. And also, like, there's just so many nuances that I can get into about buying a home with your partner. But my advice is, please don't. Like, there are many ways to show your commitment. If anything, you guys should talk about marriage first. But again, personally, this is just my personal take, that I might change when I get married one day, but right now I don't think buying a home together is a wise choice if you're not yet married, especially. But of course, if you're married with kids, you know what, you do you. Like, really, it's fine, because I know not everyone can afford multiple homes. So like, who am I to say don't buy a home with your husband? Like, I think that's ridiculous. But of course, if you can afford, I feel like having your own home, it makes so much sense. So yeah. There are actually a lot of questions you guys ask, but I feel like I'm just going to end it with this. There is nothing wrong with still renting a home. Like, I know a lot of friends, or like you see people around you on the internet buying homes, celebrating their new home, you know, doing the trend like as though they've got like a wedding ring, but actually it's the key to their new home. Like, that is so cool. That is so nice. Like, be happy for them. I'm sure it's a long journey for them to get here. But I'm just here to remind you that it's really okay if you don't have a home. I have a home now. I'm so grateful. The younger me worked really hard for it. But I also know that if I don't have this home, I'm just living in a rental, life goes on. I will still be okay. If anything, I'll have a lot more flexibility with my life. I can pack up and go anytime. Plus, I travel so much anyway. Like, there's really not much difference. I'm barely home. Like, my plants behind me, if you're looking on YouTube, you can see, like, I love them so much, but sometimes I feel like I don't spend enough time with them. And yeah, like, having a house, owning a home can really hold you back if it's not for someone with a lifestyle that suits it. So if you are someone who enjoys your freedom, look, it's really okay. Plus, like I said before on my carousel, my Instagram post, that so many homeowners are struggling to find a tenant for their home because the market, I don't know, I don't dare say or claim that it's crashing, but there is more supply than there is demand. So if anything, you guys who are renting are winning, because you guys can negotiate for a better rate for your rental, but the homeowners are stuck with their mortgage every single month, whether or not there is a tenant in their home. So, and also, no matter how good or bad the economy is, you need to pay your your mortgage. And yeah, so like, honestly, it's great to have a home. Like, the stability is one thing, but like, you can always make a home out of anywhere, really. So I just want you to know that home ownership, owning a home, is not a flex. It is a responsibility. And if you're not there yet, you're not failing in any way, shape, or form. You're just not there yet. And that's fine. Everyone has their own timeline. Like, for me, I just feel like I have to go back to this whole getting married thing. I just feel like I thought I would be married by now. That is the one milestone that I feel like I didn't hit like everyone else did. But I did hit the owning a home milestone earlier than most people did as well. So like, you know, like, how do you win? Like, you can't win in this. So yeah. So if anything, here's your permission to not rush that decision. Again, like I said, I rather you regret not getting that unit in that particular condo or home or area than to regret putting your name down for a 30-year-old loan. I don't know if this episode is helpful in any way. I hope it is. I feel like there's so much more I want to talk about. Like, you guys asked so many questions that was so thorough and so good, but I need another episode to address them. So I guess we will have another episode, but for now, again, don't rush it. You are completely fine. Owning a home is not a flex, really. It's a responsibility. All right, you guys, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode as much as I did recording it. I know that I barely scratched the surface. Really, I only covered like only a couple of points. There's so many more I can go into. And I guess that means we'll need a part 2 or part 3 later on when it comes to this home things. But I really hope that made you feel a little less alone and made you feel like, okay, I'm totally fine not owning a home, because you totally are fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a home at the end of the day. You can't, it doesn't, you can't die with it. Like, it's a home. But of course, I totally understand the stability that comes with it, the safety net that comes with it. But I hope you are able to do it only when you feel that you're ready. And if you're not ready, that's really okay. All right. And with that, like I always say, don't forget to fall head over heels for yourself as and always. I will need to, oh my gosh, I need to pay my mortgage tomorrow. It's end of the month. See, it's not that easy. But yes, hope you guys are having a good day, having a good week. And I actually really love chatting with you guys like this. And hopefully I'll have more solo episodes to come. But for now, I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Goodbye. Head over heels, head over heels, head over heels, head over heels, head over heels.